Hey Polo, how you doing?
Hey Marco, it's good to be back.
You notice anything different?
Happy New Year. Oh wait,
Yeah,
what?
Happy New Year.
That's the thing. Yeah, it was yesterday, I guess.
True, but
That's what I heard.
yeah, but like you said, if you count back 365 days from any day, that becomes the
I
a
feel like
year.
every day really is a new year, and which I think they say that like today is the first day of tomorrow, or no, tomorrow is the first day of your future, or yesterday is in the past. Or yeah, it
Yesterday
could
is
be both
the
of those.
last day of the last of your life.
Right, right.
The
'Cause
history.
you
It's
you you count back and the math works. Just trust me on that. But
what do you think of this?
I like it. What did have you come to a decision? Like we talked, that
Over on
whole issue.
Instagram, we were talking about whether this is a. I guess you heard it an advertisement or something about a
I I
podcast.
I did. It was hard to tell. It was the guy said, it was either a hit new show or a hip new show, or well, I know it wasn't a new hip show because it wasn't a medical thing. But so I was that's why I was asking you, do we even know what we are? I mean, we
Right.
know who we are. Well,
Uh,
some days, but I don't even know. Are we hit or hip?
exactly. And I would, obviously we talked about it quite a bit over on our Instagram stories, but I don't know that it's even been decided because then we started to wonder, are we a hick show?
Are we hicks?
If
Yeah.
we're, or it could even be that like, is it right to target like your audience and
Is it are is it hick because I'm just going to say it very plainly, so forgive me, but are we the
no,
hicks or is it the the
say
viewers
it
that are the
plainly.
hicks? Are the viewers the hicks?
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
still wondering. I
Well,
was
I
hoping,
guess maybe they should comment.
yeah. Should we take it personal? Like if people leave a comment or send a direct
Yes.
message, like should we take that personally?
Yeah. Wait. Well, it depends, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Because how do we even know who it's for?
right. But, I mean, I just don't want our viewers to lose sleep at night.
I don't. Has this been bothering you? Because I guess I haven't thought a lot about it.
I haven't lost any sleep over it, but if I
Okay.
did, I would worry
You would have
about
lost
whether,
it during the night
yes,
if
well,
you did.
I would have worried that they were losing sleep over it, and it would have
Over it,
caused
yeah.
me to not be able to sleep. This is getting a little
I think I
depressing.
don't want to put something on our viewers that's not what they identify with, and I don't want to call someone a hips hip hickster or a hipster or a hitter if they're not.
Yeah. Can you be either?
I think these days you can be whatever you want to be.
Whatever makes you
So,
slappy.
right. I guess that'd be a hit show. I don't even know. But now that we're on the show, do we just keep going or do we have to
Let's
resolve?
just keep
Should we
going.
just keep going?
Let's just
Okay.
go.
Okay.
What have you
This
been
whole thing
thinking
is
about?
like this whole discussion kind of got, reminded me of like politics. You got all these people who are like, oh, you're hip. No, you're
Right.
hick.
And
Um,
trying to play party favorites
and
and
we're
please.
trying to take an uncompromising, principled stand that pleases everyone because
Exactly.
we want to be in the middle because that's where it's safe. People on either sides are shooting, but we're
And what?
safe in the middle. Is that wait? Is that how it?
Well, I was thinking, politicians pretty much try to please their constituents, right? And so they're always
Yeah.
watching the numbers and following the numbers, but that is, we don't do that.
No. Oh, actually, I mean, no. Oh, but on a different topic, on another topic, I will say, have you seen the numbers on that last video we did that was kind of political?
The one about the election results.
Yeah, yeah, it's had a lot of viewers.
I have. I've noticed the view count has went up,
Well, right now it's like 280 something,
isn't
but
it?
that's I assume that's probably like only 2 or 3% of the precincts reporting. I'm gonna call it that it's gonna be probably like 14,000 viewers, right? Because we can just project. Isn't that how they do it? Like they get the first few counts, and then you project it, and it's a big number.
Who did you? Who are you going? Who did you call?
There's a Well, there was a number. No, this isn't. Okay, this is kind of coming out. It's all mixed up in my head, but it makes sense that when we.
Sorry,
It doesn't make
I
sense.
thought of a joke.
Okay.
The other day.
Okay. Well, let's just go with that.
No, I wasn't laughing at you.
Okay. Okay. The hick thing? Or the hip?
More about
No.
the jumbled everything in there, but it makes sense. And I was thinking, I don't know,
okay.
it just struck me funny.
Okay.
So, in a sense, I was laughing at you, but
Yeah.
not at you.
Well, but I think, back to this whole political thing, I wonder if we should talk about this some more. Because I don't know what you're hearing. Probably nothing with those big things on over your ears, but I'm hearing that, like, I guess there's still a lot of talk about counting all the quotes. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I
Okay.
don't understand it, but I've been following, I guess, the news and hearing a lot of chatter about. Everybody's wanting this to be some free and fair election process or something like that, and that every quote should be counted. Yeah. So, but
yeah.
what were you hearing about that? Because for me, it's been just a lot of noise, right?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about, the every quote counts, and I thought, but then I've also heard that I think it's like illegal for dead people to quote. But then a lot of my favorite quotes are actually dead people.
But you can't count them.
But
Right.
do they not count?
Well,
So, but you can only make one quote, right? So when I turned my quote in, I only can pick one. I guess that's how it works.
this is where it gets so like confusing because if you can only turn in one quote and people are turning in quotes from dead people or people from other countries or states, then how could it end up being fair, I guess, for everyone? Because you
Or
and I,
free.
huh?
Or free. Because that sounds expensive.
But you could always just have, other people pay for it.
True. Well, yeah, we could, let's just do that. Do you think, huh? I was just thinking about this though, because I also know like it's like there's concern about fake quotes. And I didn't give it a lot of serious thought until recently. I saw a fake quote and it said, "You can't believe everything you read on the internet, George Washington." And I'm like, okay, I know that is not a quote from George
See,
Washington.
even as you were saying that, I was like, that cannot be from George Washington because
Right,
he's dead.
right. And it was actually from Abraham Lincoln instead. So I think
Well,
that
and
kind of
George
stuff-
Washington he wasn't even alive during the time of the internet.
or a lot of other times since then,
So
or
there's
before then.
yeah.
So that's where it gets tricky because so they tell you we want to count everyone's quote, and then I know there was also talk about, I guess there were problems in other areas. Fortunately we didn't have this in our jurisdiction here in my election. There was a little bit of discrepancy, but I was able to stamp it out pretty quick. but I hear about people not filling out a pallet correctly. Do you guys even use pallets in your household or your jurisdiction?
No, I didn't
Okay.
even know about the pallets until I started hearing about all these problems
Mm-hmm.
and something about the pallets not being done correctly, and how that, like, did you hear about the frogs? Evidently,
No, I
during
heard.
this election, there was election frogs that were, I
What
guess,
were they
coming
doing?
in and hopping around on the pallets and messing things up to the point where some people think the election came out for one person and somebody else thinks, or other people think it's for somebody else. So, in our house, obviously, we don't have a frog problem, nor did we use pallets. My election came out like it did the year before and the year before that. And I'm just like, what's up with these people? Why can't they get it right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't see any of that frog around here. Although we have a different problem.
What's
It
that?
wasn't so much initially during the election, but since then, and kind of all this crazy news time, there's been significant fog going on. And it's probably this past week, every morning, I've been witnessing, my own eyes, witnessing serious fog in this area, in our whole county, and the county supervisors won't even address it. But I've seen it. I know it's real.
Have you turned in an affidavit?
No, because normally by like late morning, it's gone.
So there's no
But
way
then
to
it's
prove it.
back.
They won't
There's no
even
way.
hear it.
It's so rigged. It's so rigged.
They probably won't even hear it.
They won't even
Can
hear.
you
No,
hear
you.
fog?
Well, I've never heard it, but I
Maybe
haven't just
that.
listened for it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I I don't know. I think
Do you think that it's because of the fog that they didn't get the pallets done correctly?
maybe so because
I
they're
mean,
like,
up
hey, we're
here,
trying to do our job, but with all the fog, we didn't see it coming.
hmm and that would create chaos. Did you hear
Mm-hmm.
about the markers, the Sharpie markers? Like, how do you
Yeah.
even make
So
a pallet with a marker?
people
I
are
thought,
using a Sharpie on a pallet. I thought like hammer and nails, but are we just like are we in the hammer and nail age or something?
exactly,
And
old
yeah,
school or
yeah,
something.
right,
Like, maybe the
right.
millennials do pallets differently than we do.
Maybe so.
It's got to be the millennial
Well,
problem.
and I heard some states were shipping out pallets to people that didn't even ask for one.
You did?
They're like, that person's been dead, and I guess, I don't know what's going on with that.
Something should be done.
I do know, and I thought this was illegal, but I've heard in our own area here, there's a company that recycles pallets. I thought once you filled out a pallet, you signed something like penalty of perjury, and you can't like redo it or anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like I don't even know what's going on with that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got distracted. I was thinking about per jury. Have you ever had per jury duty?
No, I've had the regular one, but not the pro one. Is that what you're saying? Pro jury?
Mm-hmm. Where you
No.
go and sit in a court case and, over time determine whether a person
Mm-hmm.
was guilty of a crime or not. Yeah. Sorry, that I got confused
Okay,
on.
okay, no. Is it one of those courts where they have the hoops and it's like, oh, it's really important you jump through all the hoops, or they don't jump through the hoop? That's different too. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. But back
Hey,
to the pallets. In your area, do you have people going out and like harvesting these pallets? Because I was hearing on the news about pallet harvesting, and it didn't seem like a good thing.
I don't even know. Like I couldn't tell you in our area where the pallet farms even are.
Oh, really?
So if someone has said, hey, is there pallet harvesting going? Well, I guess you said this, not just someone.
Hmm.
I don't even know where to look because I don't know where we grow our pallets.
Yeah, are they in rows or orchards
Yeah,
or?
right. or no. I mean, I don't know. So that's confusing. I think that's a good reason why we haven't used them in my jurisdiction. And I think same thing you had. It's like I was reelected just fine without it.
Hmm. I'm guessing the Democrats wish that they grew on trees.
Probably. Didn't see that one coming. Um, hey, so what do you think too? I read about, there's all these electors,
Hmm.
and I guess in the big jurisdictions, there's the day of you turn in the quotes, they're due by that day, and then like a month later, these people all go off to college. They have this or no, I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. It's the electoral, maybe it's collage. I guess, is that what it is? Like they could put all the quotes together and then they get a picture of what the big. No, it's college. It's college because yeah. Um, they go off to college.
So my question is why are we electing people to positions of power before they've even been to college?
Mm-hmm. Or positions of power, like you said, because I've talked to all of my electors, and I've said, I think you should consider there may be a pathway to get to a college where other electors like yourself congregate,
Or a driveway? Or
but I'm not going to require it.
oh,
Are we doing it wrong or?
just to be honest, I'm not either.
Okay. You're on it, not honest, or
No,
you're not.
to be
Sorry.
honest, we don't
Okay,
require
tracking with you.
college
Yeah, yeah,
either.
yeah, yeah.
It would be up to them, I guess, whether they want to go or not. But that could get expensive. Have you?
Who pays for all that stuff? Well,
Yeah.
somebody will.
It would be nice if it was free. Maybe
It
we
would
should
be.
just make it free for all.
Yeah. Or more sponsors.
Oh, have we got any sponsors yet?
Still no sponsors. No. Maybe we can pick up like a good pallet making company or something after this,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
that's something we could do.
Maybe
The,
one of the senators would be able to sponsor and help with sending electors to college.
the representations, though, I think are the harder ones to get, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I I don't know. I don't know how long this is going to go on. Um, the bigger thing, not this particular video. I
Oh,
more just meant like if the quotes if we said so let me just so you said and I quote you quote said count all the quotes because every quote counts end quote of my quote of your quote. Did I do that right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks. Because I want this to be legal, what I'm about to say, which is that I think on this show we are all about the the sanctity of quotes and protecting them and just whatever it takes to get them all counted.
Excuse me. Do you know if there's a quota for how many quotes a person can turn
Mm,
in, in one
like
college?
how many they would harvest?
Yeah.
I've heard of harvesting quotas.
Maybe that's the thing is they can only harvest so many quotes per day or
Mm-hmm.
per hour or
Well,
per
because then
year.
overtime kicks in.
Hmm. Oh,
That's
and you
expensive. Yeah.
yeah, especially if you're paying extra.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like you could always find a way for somebody else to pay for it.
Should we and I'm not suggesting we should close this now, but if I was going to suggest that we should close this soon, would it, and I'm suggesting, I'm not quoting you because you haven't said what I'm about to say, would it be good to encourage our listeners to send us their quotes on this subject?
Unless they've already quoted. If they've already
then yes,
sent their quotes.
We are not advocating double requoting. That is a
right.
That
I
is
mean,
still,
I'm not a lawyer, so
right.
you know, any advice
Please.
or counsel I might give is pure opinion. But I
Mm-hmm.
would, my opinion is that it would not be right to send a quote to us if they've already.
We don't
However,
wanna
I
be-
wouldn't judge, and I wouldn't, once it's sent, and we receive it, we have it, and it's not like
Right.
even we have to send it back or anything.
Right. Well,
So-
we don't judge because that's up to the courts, and that's back to that jury thing I think you were talking about.
Exactly, a pro jury can do that,
Mm-hmm.
handle that very well.
Yeah.
Polo, do you have any framed quotes in your jurisdiction or in your house? Because that could
Yeah.
be part of the problem, is quotes that have been framed. I've
I
always
don't-
thought about that in a more negative sense, but I'm thinking about it now that, well, even here in my office, I have a couple of quotes framed and put up. For instance, behind me, which you can't really see unless I move the camera, there's a quote up there that says, and I quote, "It doesn't get any better than this," end quote.
Okay, now do you think that was by a dead person?
Woo! I hope
I just
not.
want to make sure it's legit.
I hope. All I can say is I hope not. And under the quote, there's no name. I think Anon, maybe Anon or
Anon.
Anonymous.
He was very prolific. Yeah, I see a lot of his stuff around.
Maybe that's why there's so much fog or so much fraud
Yeah.
in the election. Is so many quotes are turned in by this Anon.
I thought we were going to solve this tonight, and then the more we talk, the more confused I get. To be honest.
The deeper we go, the farther undermining we go. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to mine.
The deeper you go, the more you realize how deep you are.
which does not resolve
The unresolvable.
the unresolvable.
End quote. Marco and Polo. Is that okay for us to do our own quotes?
It's kind of like we're just talking back and forth here.
Okay. Yeah. They're more sayings, not quotes.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
think it could be
Okay.
called whatever we want.
Okay.
Parentheses. You could even say parenthetically speaking, not quoting, right?
Right,
Like if you were to
right.
quote George Washington, which you already did,
Mm-hmm.
you could say parenthetically speaking.
Or hypothetically, even.
Or hypothermically.
If needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should we just end this with an end quote?
Before we end, just between me and you, and we don't
Okay.
have to put this on, but when you do your videos, do you use a teleporter to read what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. I've been using them for a while. They were hard to see, so I had to add television to it, and then it's been easier since then.
Okay. So you're able to see because you have you installed it. Is that an app?
Across all global monarchies. Oh, sorry, I'm just catching up on the. See, sometimes the tele thing loads like the wrong. No, it's not my fault. I'm just like it's hard. It's so hard to see.
Do you ever, like when you're reading your teleporter, feel like you're somewhere else?
Like, that would be, yeah. Like you've been transported on a.
Maybe we should talk about this
Television.
on another episode.
Well, I feel like it's kind of like leftovers in advance. Like we're warming it up,
Yeah.
and then we'll serve it later after
Yeah.
it's cooled back down.
And nobody would know
Right.
unless you tell them.
Yeah. Same great flavor.
Well,
All right.
I appreciate this talk because it's really helped me a lot.
Stay strong. I think that's a quote from something.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. That's definitely a quote. That's one of the better ones, really.
Hashtag all in, baby.
Hashtag hick hipsters.
Hip hipsters.
That's right.
All right.